It has been said, when you take things for granted, the things you were granted are taken. Coach Jason Beverlin understands this statement very well. It was back in the spring of 2013 that Jason nearly lost his life from allergic reaction to medication. Because of his determined will to live and his commitment to his family, his friends, and his players, he beat the odds. Now, even though his team may lose the occasional baseball game here or there, he doesn't allow his team to quit on themselves or their teammates. He doesn't just coach a game, he teaches lessons of life.
In the spring of 2013, Coach Beverlin was fighting for his life. After being treated for a skin infection from what he thought started as a cut or bug bite, he went to the hospital where they treated him for cellulitis, a common skin infection. He was prescribed with the antibiotic Bactrim. He had to return to the hospital when he got an extremely painful rash that burned like an intense sunburn. After trying a new round of medication and not knowing he was allergic to it, they put him back on the original medication. From there, things got worse every day. His rash covered his entire body and his skin began to blister and shed. He said he felt like he had the flu, but that his skin was burning as though he was in an oven. The neighbor checked with Beverlin while his wife was at work and found him unable to move. His neighbor immediately brought him to the hospital, where he was finally diagnosed with toxic epidermal necrolysis, a rare life-threatening disease caused by a reaction to drugs. The medicine was poisoning his body. The hospital where Beverlin was being treated had to transfer him as they were unable to handle his treatment. Because there is a 30 to 40% mortality rate for the disease, Heather, his wife, was told to bring his 2 young sons to say goodbye. Beverlin's case was one of the worst doctors had seen, but they said the fact that he was a strong athlete would help him survive. His ability to handle the pain of the treatment was what helped him. Beverlin said he had to shut off his mind during treatment, which was the most painful experience of his life. He knew it wasn't his time to go, so he forced himself to eat the prescribed foods, which would help him regrow his skin. It did grow back after 3 painful weeks of treatment. When he and his wife returned home, the family walked a mile through his neighborhood. He never let go of his son's hand. He returned to work the next day to get ready for the upcoming season. Beverlin says, "Just don't take the opportunities we have for granted, ever."
The presenters for this award, you can make your way up, are Todd Stansbury, Vice President and Director of Athletics at UCF, Elise Najimi, Executive Director of the foundation to be named later, which is a branch of the Red Sox Foundation, and Robert Gulliver, the Executive Vice President for Human Resources at the National Football League. And reading the inscription on the award, Wendy Lewis, Senior Vice President of Diversity and Strategic Alliances for Major League Baseball.
There's a passage that many of us are familiar with. It says, "To whom much is given, much is required." Jason, in your case, that didn't apply to something that is normally considered good and wanted, but you chose to make what was a devastation into a gift. And in the spirit of the love and devotion and inspiration that you have cared to share with so many, we honor you for your unsurmountable strength and courage in the face of extreme adversity, and for using that life experience as a coach to teach life lessons to your players. You have made a difference in the lives of those players that will impact them throughout their lives. Congratulations, Jason.
Well, first of all, I'd just like to say, who says there aren't great things going on in sports? I mean, take a look around the room. Nothing but the greatest people in the world of sports here, people that are excited about the development of our youth and where we take them, developing the leaders into the leaders of tomorrow with what we can give to them. I'd like to just say that I'm very honored. The NCAS has recognized me Like Lynn Thompson, our athletic director, says, he's in the crowd tonight, that he says this to each one of the coaches, that we've all been called here by God, that coaching is a ministry to positively impact the lives of the young men and women on your teams. And I couldn't agree with that more wholeheartedly. That's a directive I hold very dear and we use as a core value of our baseball program. I think the lessons that we learn on the field are directly related to what we're confronted on an everyday basis in life. And that's why us teaching the kids that we coach and developing those lessons and sharing those with them is so important, because they're going to be confronted with the same things in their everyday life after their playing careers are over. 4 quick things that this fight has really taught me. Without sports, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to have dealt with this setback in my life. Number 1, just being in good condition. Like the doctor said, probably wouldn't have made it had I not been in good condition. And one thing that's been heavy on my heart since this happened to me is to encourage everyone. We all get busy with life. Take 30 minutes for yourself. It's worth it. Take 30 minutes out of the day and slow things down a little bit and do something active. Do something for yourself. Your kids will thank you, because you're going to be around longer as a result. The mental toughness sports teach. When they're scrubbing my dead skin off my body, I had to go somewhere else. That's a trait you learn in sports. When you're pushing yourself and experiencing pain, that's something that years of sports prepared me for. Being coachable, doing exactly what the doctors told me. Being competitive, I wasn't going to lose. It wasn't my time. Me and my wife joked that 1 in 1.5 million people get this. I wanted to leave the hospital and go play the lottery. I thought I was feeling pretty lucky at that point. Why not? But and lastly, the most important thing is teamwork. And my most important team was counting on me to come back home. And my wife was unbelievable the whole time, and I had to get back home to see my boys again. So that's what got me through it. That's what got me through it. So. And in the end, the win-loss records of teams are going to fade as time goes on. But the lessons we instill in our athletes are something that they'll keep for a lifetime. Thank you.
Congratulations, Jason. Thank you.
All right. Again, congratulations to you, Coach, on this award. Share with us what your immediate reaction is right now after receiving this award.
Well, it definitely takes you back to a time that was very difficult, but at the same time, I'm extremely honored to receive this award. And, I've been very humbled by all the great things that I've seen the last 2 days, and look forward to experiencing the rest of their stories as well tonight.
Wonderful. So we're going to get you back in there. As I mentioned to you last night at the dinner, you are a lifetime member now of the consortium. Talk to me about what that means to you and how are you going to best utilize that membership?
Now that I know more about the organization and all the great things that it's doing. These aren't temporary things, and that's what I think is so great about the NCAS is that they're looking for solutions to problems that aren't going away, that are going to make a big difference in our society, both athletically and just everyday society.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, I know that your family was able to be here with you, but I'm sure all of your loved ones and coaching staff and some of your players weren't able to be here to share this experience with you. What will you go back and tell them about this experience?
Just how special it is, and like we said during the awards banquet, you just can't take anything for granted. You never know. Something as simple as taking the wrong medication. For me, it almost took my life. So it could be anything. None of us have promised tomorrow. So we just live life to the fullest and do everything you do with the zest and energy for life, and good things happen.
Wonderful.